I made this video last night, but the quality was atrocious. So I'm making it again. It's about the aging process of psychopaths. Now, it's an interesting one because I've stopped doing the whole psychopathic thing for a while because it was just overblown. It was full of nothing but nutcases who were blaming everyone in their lives, whoever gave them a problem, calling them psychopaths, and this kind of bullshit. Now, I've got back into it again from a kind of a study point of view, looking at things. And in particular, I have been observing four psychopathic individuals, I suspect, who are now in their late 60s, early 70s. And I'm watching as control specimen lab rats, I'm watching them as the process unfolds. And it's the same in all of them. They become psychotic and clearly and obviously mentally ill. It's not the same as Alzheimer's. It's not that. It's quite different. It's almost like the cognitive buffers or the neurological buffers which function along the amygdala, which allows them from showing their true predatorial sense, is removed, and they can't control it anymore. And they become absolutely batshit crazy. Now, a common manifestation is they start turning on everybody. They start accusing people. It's not different. It's different than Alzheimer's because they're very specific. Also, things that they'd mentioned years ago, they noticed years ago, they would say, back in 1982, do you remember the time that you burst your trousers on the subway and everyone saw your shit in your underpants? Like that. Now, a person with Alzheimer's wouldn't even remember the name, but the psychopath records all the predatory history that they can prey upon going back. So they will do that. They will also sow massive chaos around them as one final energy harvesting event. So whatever social circle they're in, a religious group, an office, a community group, a family, a church group, whatever, they will start beginning wild smear campaigns, but all based one on the other. Come here, I have to tell you this. Did you know such and such is having an affair with that one? You know that one is not her baby. Now, a lot of it won't be true. It'll be done just purely for the whole thing of harvesting energy. So, especially the female psychopath. The female psychopath towards the end of its life will go on smear campaigns at an industrial level. And remember, they've already done them already through their lives, but it will be aimed at everybody. And then if they're ever called to task, they will go, I'm just a poor elderly lady, how can you do this to me? This shows the psychopath is still in there. Where a person with Alzheimer's would be doing things, would be saying ridiculous and nonsensical things, and if you said it to them, they go, I don't remember, lemon ice cream. Their brain, their cognitive functions don't process. But the predatory memory within the aging psychopath remains perfect. They can remember things 50, 60 years ago and use it against you if they want. But the thing is, they don't, in the past where they may have been very clandestine about that stuff, where instead of using it directly upon you, they may have used it on someone else. You know, so-and-so had a criminal record. You know, so-and-so was, this, that, and the other. And not tell to the person directly. The aging psychopath, because the brakes are no longer always on automatically, they come out and say, remember in 1962 when you got arrested for drunk driving and you hit the policeman? Ha 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 ha. That's literally what they do. They're feeding like crazy. If they're in an old person's home, they'll be going around robbing all the other old people's money, all the other old people's contents, and then blaming them. See, they never lose the thing to gaslight, but they're acting crazy. For the first time in their life, people will say, that person is fucking nuts. They're absolutely fucking crazy. They'll be prone to temper rages, but not temper rages of an Alzheimer's person is like they're frustrated. The temper rage of a psychopath is, I'll fucking destroy you, I'll fucking kill you, but they'll do it in the middle of the street, where in the past they would have done that behind closed doors. The door would be closed, I'll fucking kill him, I'll fucking kill her, I'll fucking kill her. It would be done like that, right? And then they go outside and go, hello. Well, they will be doing that now in public. The ability to remain cognitively integrated in terms of their psychopathic pathology falls asunder. And this is exacerbated if like they're an alcoholic or a cannabis addict. Very common that many or a cocaine or something like that. Many aging psychopaths tend to be like all their lives have been addicts. And if it's not weed and booze, it's medications. And they'll really start to hit this, and it really starts to affect them. And another thing too, you will notice, and it's amazing, is they age rapidly at the end. It's almost like they maintain themselves quite well until they're about the last 2 years of their lives, and they go downhill, like they age like 40 years in 2 years. It's really amazing, and they fall apart very quickly. And then when they die, this is the most interesting part of all, even if they have enablers, even if they have a group around them who protect them and are dependent upon it, there's a sense of absolute relief. So for instance, if the psychopath is criminally or smear campaign inclined, that the group won't continue that behavior because it feels like a fresh, unless they're completely fucked up, or psychopaths themselves, they won't ever say it, but they will notice that the air around them is refreshed, that the psychic weather around them has greatly improved. And that's because their subconscious awareness, their intuition has said to them, there's no more predator in your life. It was always buzzing all the years they knew them below the surface. Hence, when you get close to these types, even if you're married or own children, you're always full of a sense of tension that it could, any second now, I could be thrown out the door. And they're filled with this sense of relief, but they won't often express it. They're not going to turn around and say, oh, I'm glad he's dead, or I'm glad she's dead. They won't do that because of their behaviour. And they also don't want to be seen in a bad light. But yes, that's what happens. When the monster exits the stage forever, it feels like an enormous weight has been lifted, because quite literally the predator is no longer in the environment. So watch out for aging psychopaths. Notice that they become psychotic towards the end, but not like Alzheimer's. They remember every detail, and also that they age incredibly quickly. And when they're gone, for reasons no one can explain, it feels like a weight has been lifted off everyone that they were ever around or near. Okay, look after yourselves and stay clear of these things, because they will eat you the fuck alive from the day they're born to the day they expire.